Let's go.
It's LIN live. It's LIN live with Spank and Sam. It's a show for everyone, boy, woman, girl, and man. So tune in on Facebook and YouTube. Guaranteed to make you laugh and make you feel good. Yeah, it's the LIN live show with Spank and Sam. It's the LIN live show with Spank and Sam. It's the LIN live show with Spank and Sam. It's the LIN live show with Spank and Sam.
Welcome to LIN Live, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for episode number 4 of season 2. I am Alfonso Spanky Jones, and I am joined by my co-host
Samuel Sam Anthony. I put the Sam in Samuel. You feel me?
Did you have to do the shimmy too?
Yeah.
The shimmy makes it official.
Yeah, it's official.
Man, we're so happy to be back with you guys. Me and Sam are kind of recovering right now because Sam's younger brother, Jerry, got married yesterday.
Yeah, congrats to Jerry and Lindsay, 2 members of the Liberty International Network media team, 2 hardworking members in service. So congrats to y'all getting married.
And Jerry's employee too at Fonzie Productions.
Yes.
Employee number 2.
Employee number 2. We just gonna call him that for now on.
Number 2.
Number 2. Number 2. It's
Number
like
2.
what was that show? What's it?
I was gonna say Alta Powers.
Oh yeah, House of Powers, Kids Next Door. A bunch of employee number 2.
Number 2.
Welcome to the broadcast, Lindsay. Hey, thanks for watching us. Lindsay Anthony now, because you have a new last name.
Right. So it's Facebook official today, you know.
Official. Look, if it ain't official on Facebook, it ain't, you know.
It's like it doesn't matter if you had a whole wedding ceremony or not. If it's not Facebook official, it doesn't matter.
Nah, you can be married for 30 years. And then my favorite thing is like people have been married for forever. And then they found out like, oh, I need to change my status to married. And then they change it to people like, you just got married? It's like, no.
No, I've been married. I just made it Facebook official. And no one really, you know, it's a thing, man. Like people are going to Facebook before they go and look at your resume or your credit report or whatever. Like they see if you are who you say you are, it'll be on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so remember that Facebook is your real life. Not anything else. Your real life is Facebook.
I was gonna pull up a video of Lindsay's father celebrating getting rid of one of his children, but I decided to take a nap instead.
The nap was more important.
The nap was way more important than watching Lindsay's dad break dance in the middle of the floor.
At the church.
I'll share it on social media.
Right. Once again, he shared on social media, so it is real. Whatever you see on the internet, ladies and gentlemen, it is the truth. Remember that. Don't listen to the advice. That's bad advice.
No, we're gonna. So if you're not following us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram. That's where we're gonna post the video. We'll post it there so you can see the footworking that he did in celebration. Yeah, and go to their page. They still got. I think they got the Cash App up there. Hit that Cash App. Bless them real good, y'all.
Yeah, send them some money. Or, you know, if you don't know the Cash App, me and Spank will put ours in the comments. So we'll make sure it gets to it. We promise.
Maybe. I promise.
Once again, everything you hear on the internet isn't true. So we promise it gets to them.
I cross my fingers, cross my hands, and my eyes. Sam, how did you spend your Sunday morning, man? What church did you go to this morning?
I went to Liberty, Chicago with Apostle Lathan with a really hard get your life together message. Stop walking in the fence. You know, it's really our responsibility. There's 3 types of hearts we can have, and it's up to us to decide if we want a stony heart, we want a thorny heart, or we want a heart that has good soil so God can plant into it. So Apostle Lathan gave a really, you know, great word. It made you get your life together, you know? So it was good. How was your Sunday morning?
Well, I just want you to know there's an ice box where my heart used to be. I'm so cold. My Sunday morning was interesting. So before we got to Liberty services, I played at a friend of mine's church this morning. Their services started at 10, and we were out by 11. I was like, hey, I can get used to this.
Beautiful.
Play 2 songs and get out. I'm like, hey, let's do it. You know, I didn't even break a sweat. I was like, oh, cool. My shirt is still fresh. But then I came home and made sure the Liberty Temple Bolingbrook service went really well. Had Apostle Darling kicking off the sermon series of Emancipation, the Power of the Tongue. It was really good. Talking about, you know, the power of the tongue and the curses that can come with it and the blessings that can come with it. So if you're not aware of that sermon series, tune into Liberty Temple Bolingbrook. I think most of the network is kind of coming from that sermon series this month. So get in on that, y'all. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, tap in. I also want to say happy birthday to my baby Rocky. She turned 8 today. The big
Rocky.
I asked her if she want to be on camera, but she said the show isn't big enough for her. So make sure y'all share this with y'all friends and family so I can get my kid on.
She said you need at least 1,000 followers before she'll come on your show.
Look, we got to be nationally syndicated. I think that's what she said.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, we'll get there. We're getting
there, baby. We're working.
But help us get Rocky on the show by buying some merch right up here, y'all. The more merch you buy, the more money we can bribe her with. Because, you know, 8-year-olds want nothing but, like, the finer things in life.
Yeah, slime and cell phones and TikTok and all that. I don't think you pay for TikTok, but, you know. Yeah, that stuff.
Let's not dive into that. There's people getting paid off TikTok. Let's just say that.
Oh, really? How you do that? We did that.
Not that type of show, Sam. Not that type of show.
Tune in next week for how to get paid on the internet.
You know, what is it? With the Only Deacons?
Only Deacons.
Only Deacons. But man, this is gonna be such a good show. We got 2 of the most awesomest people of my life. Like without these 2 people, I wouldn't be who I am, honestly. So I'm excited to get into it with them. Sam, is there anything else we need to say before we get into it?
Nope. Subscribe to LIN Network on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. Instagram. And yeah, it's gonna be fun.
If you're not subscribed to the Liberty International Network YouTube channel, why wait? What are you waiting for? Just do it. It's free.
But not now. Watch the show now. Share it with your friends and family members.
Oh, they can hit the subscribe button. It's right there under the video. It's that little red button that says subscribe. Just click it.
Oh yeah, and then the notification bell.
Yep. So you can know when we come on every single time. Just do it.
Yes, fun, Ashley. Fun.
Man, it was good to see all the Saints twerking it last night. People, you know, people that you never knew can move the way they moved last night. I was like, whoa. And husband and wives getting on the dance floor doing things I didn't want to see. It's like, Jesus.
You know.
Your brother's reception lit a fire in a lot of people.
Keep it holy, saints. Say room for Jesus, please.
They did not make room for Jesus at all on the dance floor last night. There's gonna be some 60-year-old parents having some new babies.
Oh Lord, that's gonna be wow. How old are y'all? How old is? Okay,
I'm 10, but my mama is 70.
No bueno.
All right, so let's get into it, Sam. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the first up on the show. See, I'm gonna have to flip a coin because they're both just like, it's not a lesser of who comes on first and who's last, even though they'll probably like text each other and fight it out, you know. Mm-hmm. But coming onto the twerk for Jesus.
Twerk for Jesus.
That is my catchphrase. First up, this gentleman is the voice of a lot of things. He was the voice of Liberty Temple for so many years, and he is now the voice for people such as Shirley Ralph and many Dream Girls on Clubhouse. ladies and gentlemen, as we get rid of all of this, welcome to the show, Norman Waddell.
Hey, hey.
Hey, welcome,
See,
Norm.
the $1 million voice already. He said, "Hey, hey, oh yeah,
Hey,
And then this next gentleman coming up, they call him Carl with the good hair, Mr. Ponytail. No, I'm joking. No, Carl he is the media MD. He is literally the reason why I'm in the position that I am in now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Carl Ankrum.
Hello, all. With the applause, hilarious.
Wow.
That's pretty
What's up,
cool.
Carl?
What's going on? What's going on?
It's all good. We lost your light.
Yep. Hold on. There we go. I had some major technical difficulties today, and it's normally, and of course, I was running late. But then as soon as I got here, I was like, okay, let me hurry up and get this stuff situated. And nothing wanted to work for whatever reason, but it's all good. That's a part of technology. Sometimes it does not work always.
That is literally technology.
Craziness. What's going on, Norm?
Carl, what's going on, man?
I am very well. Yourself, sir?
I'm doing good.
I was impressed, not surprised, amazingly surprised, all at the same time about the whole Clubhouse voiceover. Can you do it? Are you gonna do it? Oh, that was super dope, man. I was quite excited about that. It was quite cool. Very quite cool.
That was fun.
Man, it was good too. I got a chance to listen in, so I'm happy to have heard your voice on Clubhouse, which is. What are your thoughts on Clubhouse? Both of you guys. Like, what are your thoughts on and feelings of Clubhouse?
Well, it kind of reminds me, and this was before my time, but actually at growing up, listening to the radio a lot, that was our, sort of entertainment. So it was really cool to kind of have that theater of the mind. And then also, at Liberty growing up, we used to have gospel theater on the radio. So being a part of that production was really cool because these are people acting in their living rooms, in their bedrooms or their closets, depending on, the sound quality that they needed. And they were all over the world. There were cast members in London. There were cast members in Canada. Everybody was everywhere, bringing their voices together to recreate this experience of Dreamgirls on this app that, you just sit and listen. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Carl, what are your thoughts on Clubhouse?
I love it, actually. I really, really do. It's a very impressive platform for me in the respect that so many topics can be discussed and addressed on one platform. And literally you can get info from, anybody. Now, a lot of people are like, well, I was in this one room and this one person was saying crazy stuff. And I'm like, now, how is that different from any other platform? There's crazy stuff on Facebook. There's crazy stuff on Instagram. There's crazy stuff everywhere, so you have to literally, sift through it and determine, what's the best and what's not. But I have not yet been in a room that I have heard anything false or anything that I knew automatically to be false. Now, after I researched a couple of things, I was like, that was a little iffy, a little shady there. But, but again, just, got to determine what rooms to get in and then you're good. I have absolutely loving the platform. Absolutely loving it.
Yeah, people are starting to compare it to those old school three-way chats, just with more people.
That's funny. That's funny.
It's just like, and like, I don't know, it's me. Like, I kind of lost interest just because it's missing the video part of it, seeing people's faces, being able to get that instant feedback from everybody that's not on stage. Yeah. So like, that's the only part I kind of miss about it. But
I think, I think though, for that type of a platform to be able to have literally 100 webinars going on at one time.
True.
That anybody can just literally the whole thing of walking down the hallway to see, okay, what's in this room, what's in this room, what's in this room, whatever. It would, they're already using I'm not no technical guy, whatever, but I know they're using already so much bandwidth or terabytes of data, whatever, to already just do the audio. Because like in some of these rooms, I'm like, hey, I could just pull it up right now. In some of these rooms, you got like hundreds and hundreds of people, and then in some rooms, thousands of people, based upon who. Like every time Gary Vee gets on there, and I love Gary Vee, he's a cussing brother, but I love Gary Vee. You know, it could be anything. It's like right now, you know, 652 people, 150, 98, 87. So all these people being able to have this one spot to just get encouragement or prayer, you know, or whatever. It's kind of dope. I love it. Yeah. I love it.
But like every app, there is a dark side to it, and you know, we always got to navigate away from the dark side.
This is very true. Very true.
It always finds a way in.
Man, everything gets perverted in some shape or form. So we brought you guys here today because you guys are, to us, some of the biggest media content, like just knowledgeable people. That's the word I'm looking for. You have so much knowledge between the two of you that I feel like not only us can benefit from, but the world and whoever watches this from live to the replay. So if you don't mind, can we dig into your heads a little bit and gather some of your knowledge?
As much as possible, I guess. And hold on. And one thing I really just had to notice here. So our little goatees here, a little salt and pepper and everything. I got the light, you got the chocolate, you got the bald, I got the hair. I kind of like this little that going right there.
Total contrast, right?
One of our leaders, when they found out both of you were here, she said salt and pepper.
That's too funny. That's too funny.
So that's how you guys are. You guys are literally a powerful combination together.
Yeah, one of the things we were talking about when we were thinking about you all as guests were we wanted real people, you know, people who are experts in their field, who are still growing and looking to grow, but also people who are just going to keep it real and authentic with everybody, not people that are just going to be like, oh yeah, I did this and it was a breeze, right? And Norman talked about this a little earlier, like, yeah, you all can make it look like it's a breeze, but you know, the work behind it, you know. So that's one of the things that like I've always admired about you all from afar. Like you all make it look easy. And I know it's not easy, but you all make it look easy.
Exactly.
So let's start from the beginning. Where did you guys get your start? Carl, what about you? Where did you start in this realm?
Well, Norman was definitely way before I was, but so I got started doing I came into sound. Well, when I first came in, first of all, many people may know this, Liberty was my very first church, period.
Wow.
Period. I was very unchurched, extremely unchurched. My dad was an atheist. My mom, she believed in something, not necessarily a God or Jesus or whatever. She believed in something spiritual, higher being, whatever you want to call it. So I grew up not going to church, like literally at all, not one bit. So Liberty was my first church that I came to. And obviously, you know, like a lot of people would say, first coming to church and you hear all this speaking in tongues and all that, you're like, what the is going on here? You know, just really, really weird. And I actually went to Liberty chasing a girl, chasing someone who my mom's job, she worked there. Her name is Leslie. Leslie worked there, and I was trying to, you know, get at her, and she was like, "You need to be saved, boy." And I was like, "I need to be who?" and that's literally that's how I came to Liberty and started off doing sound work, and then just kind of build and grow it into there, so to speak. That was pretty much how it started.
Awesome. Norman, you want to tell the story?
I love how when Carl said Norman started way before. This gray off. I was like, good Lord. No.
Right.
No, but actually I got my start in ministry at Liberty. My mother was a bookkeeper at the time. Well, actually, take that back. She was actually in housekeeping at the time.
Really?
Yeah, she was actually in housekeeping, volunteering. And so after school, I would be at the church waiting on her to finish what she was doing. And it was Tuesday morning. This was a Tuesday morning Bible study. So this was over the summer. the audio person didn't come in. And I remember sitting there watching the audio person because I would go to Tuesday morning Bible study. So my mother didn't have us sitting around. She was like, we'll go to Tuesday morning Bible study. So either vacuum or go to Bible study. So, I chose Bible study.
That's funny.
And the audio person didn't show up. And Apostle Turner walked in and he was like, where's my audio person? And everybody's looking around. And so I remember watching this guy doing what he did.
Oh, wow.
And so I went in there, turned on the sound system and handed him his mic.
Wow.
And he was like, do you know what you're doing? I said, no. And he was like, well, the microphone's on. You must have did something right. And so that was the start. I started working in audio and then moved over to television as a camera person. And then that's how this whole thing started. So
that's cool.
And I was 13 at the time. So I was the youngest person in media. We called it telecommunications at the time. But
that's them blue jackets.
Them blue jackets. Them blue jackets.
I gotta say, when I first came, I honestly can't remember how it got started. I remember Michael Smith. He was on the camera and he was on the headphones talking to someone upstairs. It's like, we needed some help for this, needed some help for that, whatever. And I was like, hey, Mike, whatever y'all need, whatever. I'm, just willing to help. But after talking to Minister Charles, coming to find out they actually needed more help in the sound department. And that's how I ended up going to sound, because not that I had wanted to go into video first, but I was sitting at the chair and Mike was on. So that front camera, what camera is that? Number 1 or number 2? I don't know what that is. Whatever.
Yeah, that was
number. So he was on camera 1, and I was in those seats, one of those seats right behind it. And I was like, hey, whatever help you need, I got no problem helping. So I thinking I was going to be going into video first, but no, ended up being sound. Sound was where I had to start.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Man, that is enlightening. And Norman, you may not know this, but I was also watching you because I was going to Liberty Academy at the same time. So like, I've seen you grow in that ministry as I grew.
Well, dang, how old were you, boy?
Right.
So if he was 13.
I've been at Liberty since I was 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So I went to Liberty Academy from 1st to 4th grade.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then,
Wow. That's amazing.
So it sounds like everybody got involved in media kind of by accident. Norman was just there. Carl was like, I can help you all.
Yeah, let's do something.
That, though, but
yeah. And what was interesting, I was always fascinated with how they put together the show. I watched, the guy at the time that was doing the editing, and then I watched Bernie Collins. I watched just tons of people who worked in media that watched how they put all of that together, and then doing the gospel theater skits. I was in a few of those, but I didn't cross over actually into the actual doing the work until I was like about 13. But yeah,
wow. That's cool.
And that was the thing I loved about Liberty. You could literally get immersed in anything you wanted to. If you were interested in finance, somebody would suck you in and make you do some work. If you wanted to do something else, they would
free labor.
Right.
It was like, oh, you're available and you want to work? Oh,
right.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if you know how to do it. We're gonna train you.
We'll train you, right? That's the word though. Immerse is the correct word, because you will get fully engulfed in all of that. Absolutely. So how long did you guys volunteer in the positions before you decided that you can make a career off of what you were doing?
Oh wow. That's a really good question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you're funny.
Right?
So I know how I started in this. So sound wise. So I was talking to Minister Charles, and I had told him, I said, well, hey, let's determine how we're gonna do whatever we need to do. I ended up writing down a piece of equipment, the name, the model number, and the brand of every piece of equipment we had in the booth, the band area, whatever. I called up because internet they didn't have no Google. I can just Google all that stuff and look it up. I literally called every single company and had to mail a bunch of manuals, mail all this. I read it all, determined how to hook it up properly. I'll never forget the day after the very next service. I'll never forget the very next service when we made all the changes. So many people came into the booth and said, we got a new sound system? What happened? What are we doing here? And it was I think it was at that moment I realized I could help other churches do this. I could possibly go out and do this and help you, because literally I remember Riss had a more powerful amp than what was in the booth powering the speakers.
Wow.
And my only reasoning for this would be it was just an amp that they bought because she needed to replace something. It's not like they were going to purposefully, it's not like Lanier or Therese or whoever would have purposefully put a more powerful amp by her. The amp she had probably went out. They bought another one, replaced it. And, it was years later. So it would have been a more powerful amp or what have you. So when I switched all that stuff around and got it to work, I was like, hey, this really might work. And then literally, so when I first got started doing sound, I mean, I've helped, I don't want to say hundreds, but I mean, I've helped quite a few churches with their sound departments. And it was literally just because of how that happened at the church at Liberty.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think that, and what I loved about what Carl did, he also helped other churches. So as we were also in the process of growing shortly right after that. So literally having that sort of on the ground sort of conditioning and, okay, this worked at the mother church. This could work, other places.
That's true. That's good. Yep.
Yeah. So then it really helped with building the credibility. I didn't realize it until actually I moved to California. Because, I had been doing, a lot of the producing of, content. And then, Carl had taken on the heavy lifting of really looking at setting the standard for what types of equipment we needed across the network. It wasn't until I met Shirley Ralph and we went to dinner, and how that whole thing happened was she needed a commercial done. And a friend of mine told her that he knew somebody who could record a commercial for her. So I had this equipment at the house that I used to produce all of the things for the ministry. And so she came by and I didn't know who was coming. I just knew somebody was coming at the time. Wow. And I opened the door and she's standing there with her husband, Senator Vincent Hughes. And I'm like, okay, I just saw these two people in
That's hilarious.
Okay, hi. And so, we recorded.
And who was this amazing friend's name who referred you to?
A buddy of mine, actually, who I worked with at Bank of America in Chicago years ago. And so literally we met 2 weeks before our project ended. And it was a hi, how you doing? Great to meet you. Because, seeing Black people in the office is a very rare thing. So as a Black person, it's like, oh, let me go say hi. And it was about 2 weeks after that, this person was looking for another role within the company. And then after I connected him with someone, he actually got the role. And then 2 weeks later, I got laid off. Oh. So I was like, oh. So, then that was the year I was working at the ministry. I had become director of media at that point, and then, started doing a lot of the work and changing to the media group and all of those different types of things. And then I got a phone call, and it was from this gentleman who I had met, and he was looking for another person to be a project manager on his team in California. And so that's how I wound up getting to California, was through that connection from me saying hello to him literally a year ago.
Wow.
And so he left the company that I wound up going to and started building websites. And one of the websites he built was for Shirley Ralph on her wedding website.
That's what's up. That's cool.
So so he remembered that I did voiceover and was like, wait, I'd have somebody who can do that, record that for you. So in the whole recording of that, I didn't talk about me. I just did what she needed done. And so put together her commercial. She had made a mistake on that commercial and called me about a week later, but she was getting ready to leave town. And so she was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. What's going to happen? And so I said, well, I can re-record the end of the commercial and fix it. And she was like, well, how are you going to do that? And I was like, I'm just going to record it and put it on the back of the commercial. And she's like, well, are you going to try to sound like me? And I'm like, no, I'm going to record it in my voice. So, I was a little annoyed at that point, but then I had to remember we didn't talk about me. So she didn't know. So long story short, sent her the commercial. She was like, oh my God, you should think about doing voiceover. And I'm thinking, I've been doing that since I was 13.
You're late, girl. You're late.
But it hit me. I had only been doing voiceover for the network and for the ministry. I had not done voiceover outside of that. And so about a month or so later, I got invited to a meeting that she was having for a production. She has an annual HIV/AIDS benefit called Diva Simply Singing. And so her brother was the voice of that show, and he started getting booked for other work. And so she invited me to become the voice of the show. So I've been the voice of her show for the last 15 years. So it was in that moment that I realized that, oh, wait, I could do this outside of, what I've been doing.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that's good. I was looking through my notes. Apostle Lathan earlier was talking about how God puts you where favor can find you. Yeah. And that's exactly what that is. Like, you are literally where it can find you. Not in Chicago, but in California.
Yeah.
Random meetings with people. And yeah, that's dope.
So you said you started voiceover when you were 13.
Yeah.
How did you hone your skills, or who helped you hone your skills in voiceover?
Well, actually, I learned a lot of that at Liberty. And also, while I was in high school, Rick Party was on the air at WGCI in Chicago, and he had come by my school, and so he had heard some of the things that I had done, and so I had a classmate whose mother worked at WGCI, and so she was like, "You need to hear this guy's voice. He's like a kid with this big guy voice," and Doug Banks made a visit to our school, so we had this little, internal radio station, WPLJ. And so I was getting ready to announce this song, and I was like, and it was R. Kelly at the time. So
it's okay. You won't get canceled today. You won't get canceled.
I don't want to be canceled. And I was like, it's R. And as I'm saying his name, Doug Banks walks in the room, and I'm like, and he's like, keep talking, stop, just don't stop talking. And so I was just so starstruck, but he heard me. He was like, we need to get him an internship. So I got an internship at WGCI in high school, where most people don't get those opportunities until they're in college.
Yeah.
So I was the youngest intern there, and that's how that started. And so in honing the skills, and so Rick Party mentored me, and then so that began to improve.
That's what's up. That's cool.
I just wanted to address Cherish's comments. Saints get canceled all the time.
If we're gonna be real about it, right?
Saints get canceled all the time. So, what were some of your goals pre-COVID, and have they changed since the pandemic?
Oh wow!
Like for your businesses or your current situations, your situationships that you're in now.
Situationships.
So, so last January, January and February, Yolanda and I had done a lot of planning for some things, and then even my partner, who I do a lot of shooting with, Ken Meyer, we had talked about a lot of things, building wise, business wise, whatever. And I had these other two video guys. I'm really not even sure how long I've known them. I'm assuming it was pre-COVID, but time gets a little lost when you think about it. But I had had some plans on really scaling the business a little differently. So I do probably over 10, maybe 10, 15 events a year. That are like well, no, that's not true. Okay, I do maybe 5 to 10 events that are regulars that I do every single year that keep me, on contract, whatever. But then there's like another 5 to 10 events that I just get picked up here and there. So on average, I'm doing anywhere from 20 to 25 events a year, and that's like the bulk of my money. Even though I'm doing all the photography now, people don't realize I still do way more video than I'm doing photography. The photography is just a lot of fun, and it's a lot easier for me to do. So I've been pushing that like crazy because I also don't have as much business in it. I still have plenty of video business that I'm quite grateful for. So I keep that rolling. But when we were planning for 2020 to do some things in January and February, I was like, well, hey, let's do this. So we want to build and scale this. I was bringing other, not employees, but other just workers, other video guys, other photographers, just to see, okay, look, if we get out of this studio and get a bigger studio, we can have multiple people doing different things at one time. Really, scale that and do that. And while they're doing that, making their money, I can be training up people to do events. Because events, think about what Norman said a little earlier. Liberty will train you like ain't no tomorrow.
Facts.
No, so and I still, I mean, there is so much that I'm amazingly grateful to Apostle Turner first, and then obviously Apostle Lathan. You know, this, I mean, there's absolutely zero possibility of me being who I am without the two of them, 100% flat. So when I think about all the business that I have and what I've learned, it's like even sound wise, you know, started off doing DJing, you know, setting up the sound systems over in sports or doing whatever we needed to do. So having all that stuff culminating to getting our own building, that's really where all this was going to be going. And, you know, I remember March 15th, Yolanda, myself, Elder Harrell, and Michael Dorsey, and I think even Yolanda's mom, we were in Patio's restaurant on 95th. And we looked up on the TV and said, Chicago's getting shut down or Illinois is getting shut down. And we'll never forget March 15th. And that was it. So when that happened, my main source of income or the most chunk of it, all the events that I was doing, instantly canceled. Wow. So I was like, I mean, I lost quite a bit of money, and I'm grateful God sustained me, no issues. But, you know, so that pre-COVID, you know, having all these events, being able to potentially fund this new venture, this new building, or wherever else we were going to be going, obviously that definitely went a completely different way. And, you know, having to pivot to, or excuse me, I shouldn't even say pivot, having to just continue on the video content that I already had, the video contracts and stuff where I can just meet up with someone, they can give me a hard drive or whatever, just, you know, to do whatever with it. But in general, having to determine, okay, if I'm doing this video thing and not able to do events, how can we just use that digitally online to sustain wherever we are for when this COVID thing, and you know, there's all these skeptical things about, is it going to ever be over? So, you know, maybe 2023, 2024, you know, we might be almost back to normal or whatever. But, you know, for me, it was more of a question of, okay, how do we deal with this online content, you know? And then obviously I got, you know, the Media MD. I've established several different programs with that, Stop the Scroll and the master class and all that. So literally just having everything be online. So that's what I had to do for COVID.
Yeah. And you guys heard some of the adventures that he had, so please go support them. Norman, what about you? What has COVID changed about your goals?
Whew, COVID has been a blessing, and it's also been an interesting sort of shift on things. You know, Carl, what I really admire about Carl is that when he found that entrepreneurial spike, he ran right into it. And you know, picked up pieces along the way. For a person like me who's worked in corporate America for some time, you get conditioned to sort of how you work. And so my passion, voiceover, producing, you know, all the things that I did at Liberty, you know, I always did that as sort of something on the parallel side. You know, it was always something as a side type of thing. I've always wanted it to be the primary thing, but the time commitment it takes to work a corporate job, then you move up into executive management and all your time is gone. So right before COVID, I actually was a VP at a large studio in LA, and I got laid off in August after a merger. So I decided I was going to travel. So I just said, need to go.
You know, you be traveling, Norman.
Right.
Good job. You know you be traveling.
Vicariously living through your pictures.
Yeah, I had to find the air and go and breathe somewhere else. And
where in the world is Waddell? That's what it is.
You know, go figure out my life and, you know, figure out what I wanted to do next. And so I did 4 months of travel, and then I came back, and then the world was like, shut down. And what was so interesting was I took that time to start getting out there, networking. You know, hey, you have an event. You need a live voice person to do your event, you know, that kind of thing. So I had literally had about 7 live events lined up in the month of March and April. And they literally dissolved right before my eyes. And I was like, well, wait. Oh, that infomercial's gone. Okay. So, you know, it was like, whoa. But what I loved about this was that because I produced with Shirley Ralph on a number of her different efforts, you know, on an annual basis. So this was like a seasonal thing. we had to immediately just kind of come together and say, well, what are we going to do? Live events are going to be gone this year. And we have this big gala in December. And so that's when the wheels started turning. Wait a minute. Okay, we're going to have to do this virtually. So literally we started thinking about the virtual red carpet, how we were going to produce that. Then, how do we stay in touch with an audience that she normally physically sees? Mm-hmm. So then that's when we started looking at, well, how do we keep our audience engaged? Well, social media. Well, how do we keep them engaged on social media? So she did her first live like in April. She was wow. What is this? Why are you making me do this? And so what the pandemic did for all of us, there were actors and actresses that just show up on set and do what they do. They had to be lighting people. They had to be sound people. They had to literally become everything because all of it's in their living room, in their space. I'm sitting in my bedroom now with a green screen behind me. And so all of the things that we normally wouldn't do, we had to become. So I think it was a great learning curve. And so then we developed a show called Diva Simply Quarantined, which was a spinoff from Diva Simply Singing.
Oh, wow.
And so this weekly talk show, we brought on everybody that came to sing. We brought on Mary Wilson. We brought on Stephanie Mills. We brought on all of these, Layla Hathaway, and all of these people who had been a part of the show for the last 30 years to talk about how they're thriving in quarantine.
I love
and so Layla. It started to really pick
just the mention of her name.
Come back.
Okay, I'm here. I'm sorry.
Okay, I may introduce you. So,
okay,
yeah. There you go.
That's that. Screens coming true on LIN Live. Look at
right here. But how it changed was that I was able to see that I could do this on my own. Not as a part of a planned event. I came up with the concept, executed it, and then all of a sudden the phone starts ringing. Hey, you did that so-and-so. Could you help me conceptualize this? How can I get this off the ground? What do I need to do to, do X, Y, and Z? So then that's when I really, committed to putting the pen to paper and saying, okay, you know what? I can do this. And so that whole entire year was laid off. I was able to create and actually generate income that I wouldn't have been able to do in the time I was employed. So, So this really flipped it for me so that I could, now put my creative passions first. And then when I do go work, make sure that the work that I do accommodates what I want to do.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Facts. Man, this is so inspiring.
That's cool.
It is. I'm definitely going to watch this back. And everybody that's watching it, share with your friends and family members so they can watch it too and get all this great info. I want to know a little bit about, or what is your thoughts about how important it is to make good quality content? A lot of people make content, right? But I'm not knocking people, but some people's content isn't good. And they don't know it. Yeah, and they don't know it because their friends and family members are like, oh, this is so great. And your friends and family members aren't real. It's like the person give you a mixtape on the streets. You're like, first of all, is this a CD? Second of all, it's probably trash.
That's the truth.
So how important is it to make good quality content?
Okay, so it definitely depends on what your goal is, on what you're doing. Because the type of content, is my opinion, the type of content you create matters more than the quality of the content that you create. And I say that because in general, these cell phones can do an amazing job. Right now I'm on a $40 webcam that I got from Dell. Now the camera that I was had technical difficulties. So my $40 camera is here. My $3,000 camera is right there, and I couldn't get it to work today. For whatever reason, it wouldn't connect to the computer. Who knows? Whatever. That's the camera I mainly use. So when I'm doing my lives and I'm doing my content, that's the camera I use. But because quality is very relative and subjective to what industry you're in or what medium you're playing it on, if you just develop good content. But again, based upon what it is. All right, so I'm the media MD. I help people conceptualize their brands, execute what they need to do. So my job is to help someone determine what their brand is. What content they need to match with their brand. So I do a lot of hair work. I do a lot of work with fashion people, hair industries, whatever. So for them, it's more of a question of how are we showcasing your hair and how are we showcasing you and your services. So that content can literally be anything. They just have to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it and don't stop no matter what. You know, Sam, something you said earlier, who did you say you wasn't going to get on the show if you didn't have a bigger following?
My daughter, Rocky.
Rocky, that's
watching this now too, Rocky.
Okay, so so Rocky has a very interesting point because a lot of people, well, how many times do you do it? Like you'll be scrolling, oh, they only got 15 viewers. I keep going, oh, they got 1,000 viewers. Let me do that. Or perfect example, even on Clubhouse. You see a Clubhouse room with 5 or 6 people, you ain't gonna go in there because they're gonna throw you on stage so quick to try to get you to talk about whatever it is. You just trying to get some information. Right. But if you just keep producing the content, the numbers will eventually grow. So I tell people it's extremely important to develop content, but don't be so concerned about the equipment that you're trying to buy. Yeah. Because there's so much. I mean, I'm serious. A lot of the videos that I do, like I really stopped doing a lot of the videos with my serious cameras. I just been starting doing with my cell phones to show people you don't have to go out and spend any money. You know, even on my website, there was 1, 2, 3, 4. We had like 5 different devices that I do a video comparison, and all of them are just close enough to do whatever we need to do. So yeah, so content. So to answer your question, developing content is extremely important. You just have to keep doing it no matter what it is. It's always going to seem slow, and I'm even preaching to myself because I don't post nearly enough. Now Yolanda thinks I post way too much already. But I'm not even close to posting nearly as much as I should. So you just got to keep the numbers going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and actually, I echo everything Carl said. Everyone has a TV station in their pocket.
That's right.
The world is revolutionized where you can literally tell a story from your phone, and there's software and apps that are there to help you throw together quick videos with effects and all of that kind of stuff that you would have to. I mean, how many years did it take for us to learn Avid and all those other platforms, Premiere and and multiple pieces of equipment, and now it's just here in your phone.
Yeah, y'all kids got it easy.
Real easy.
We didn't have it. Go ahead, Norman. Let me let you finish first, Norman.
I was gonna say, like, I'm in the generation that's between that, so like I got both sides of it. I had to learn the big PV board that was on the bandstand. I had to learn it.
Exactly. So and really, it's not about, like you said, it's relative. Everybody wants an Oprah Winfrey slick presentation.
That's the truth.
But most of the viral videos, honestly, that get picked up and go into outer space aren't the highest quality of videos. Somebody recorded it on a Samsung S3, and
I know he did go back to the S3.
The S3.
It did the trick. I think what it is what is your intention? What is it that you want to say? What do you want people to see? And then make sure that that's clear, because that's what cuts through the noise.
That's good.
Because everybody has a podcast, everybody has a show, everybody has a room on Clubhouse. I mean, so what's going to make you different? And so I know that's a dangerous question because a lot of people spin on that. Well, I ought to make it different. Follow your passion, but do it consistently.
Yes.
If they only hear from you once a week, and you don't do any touch-ups during the week, do you know how many things happen within a week?
Yeah.
Let's look at the week of January 6th. The Capitol got stormed. This happened. That happened. We lost 2 icons. We lost Cicely Tyson, and we lost this person. I mean, by the time you get through to people don't even remember you were even on the next week. So you literally have to be constantly, pushing. And then there's also a thing called science is happening in the background. There's algorithms. These companies are creating these things that if you don't produce enough content at a certain level, then you get pushed down. They want to go with people who constantly are producing so that there can be money made, because this is all about money being made.
Yes,
So the platform's free to you, but somebody's paying for it, and somebody's getting paid for the fact that you're using their data.
That's right.
So, it's a much bigger thing than that. And what I don't want people to get is afraid to try their hand at it. It's just to know that those are other factors happening in the background.
That's good, Norm. That's good.
So is it necessarily quality versus consistency? Because what if you post something that's subpar consistently? Will that work the same as quality inconsistently?
In my opinion, yes. Because so imagine, and Norm, you could help me out with this. So maybe 10 years, okay, I don't know. So 10 years ago, let's say just a while ago, I will never forget the very first time I saw cell phone footage on ABC on 2, 5, or 7 News. And it was so bad.
Yeah.
But it was acceptable now on 2, 5, and 7. So 10 years, 15, however long ago it was, I was like, they got some really horrible video footage on this show, on this news channel, and they are broadcasting it. And then I just noticed that whole concept of subpar quality video started just matriculating everywhere. Yeah. Reality shows have made bad camera work just the norm now.
That's so true.
And the reality of it is, if you have something decent, they're gonna watch it. They're gonna watch it. Now, if it's like really bad quality, I mean, like if it's grainy and you're sticking every 5 feet, okay, yeah, we're gonna have a problem. But I'm like, hey, if it's some low quality, but it's consistent, and if it's funny or whatever, I think it still works. Because the other thing about it is, anybody who's doing that, they're not going to want their stuff to be bad for long. They're going to upgrade. They're going to upgrade.
No, it's true. It's true. And then when you look at it, for the news application, it's, that person on the ground that caught that police officer doing what they did. And the only reason it happened was because they had their phone out. So they've made it acceptable to, be shaky and, and all of those. And then now you got the person behind the thing saying, look at what they did. Oh my God.
That's true, Norm.
And then we get all wrapped in it like, oh,
yeah, exactly. That's right.
We get wrapped up in it because it's real. If it were pre-produced, if it were slick, we wouldn't give it as much, like, oh, that's okay, that was staged. How we do. And, and even in some of these subpar quality videos, they're staged. You can say, oh, okay, they set this up. Okay, they're just trying to bait us with this, So we have become critics, and we have become more savvy than we actually realize. So now, Spanky, you may not remember this, but when we got our cell phones for the first time, for those of us who could get a cell phone, when we could afford one, and it wasn't a smartphone, we had to take our phones into whatever the company was at that time before the Verizons and all of that became a thing, Singular and all of that. We had to take our phones in to get firmware installed. So whenever there was an upgrade, it didn't happen over the air. It happened because you had to take your phone in. Now you have to update your software. So you are now software installers.
Legit.
Where you weren't before.
That's good.
TV people did the reporting of the news. Now everyday people report the news, and they can just go to their abc.com app and pull up the little thing and capture the fire going on in progress. So we have become reporters. We have become more savvy listeners. We have become more savvy viewers. We watch TV different. We watch content different. Most of the things we consume are online, which is why, these cell phone companies have developed these screen time apps to let us know how many hours we look at the phone. Yeah, because now we're looking at the phone. And now our phones are really large. So now we can watch Hulu and Netflix and watch movies on our phone. Right. So they have created this medium whereby now anybody and everybody can create something. But now the strategy is, if you want to develop content, how to get it seen.
Mhm.
So that's really the driver now, is how do I get it seen? Because not all of it's going to be perfect. Some of it's going to have, I mean, we look at this platform that we're on right now. When I worked with this last April, oh, it was clunky. Lord, I wanted to throw it away. Now it's clean and slick, and we got backgrounds, and we got these nice, cool, rounded corners, and all of these things that are now slicker. So, like Carl said, those things start to improve over time, and then as you start to get more people, you want to do a better job at presenting and doing those types of things.
Right.
So,
That's good.
yeah, I just think that when you start to talk about content, if it's bad, you don't want to do it long form.
Yeah.
If it's bad, you want to be short and sweet. But with most things, we consume things in seconds. When we're scrolling on Instagram, think about how quickly you absorb what you see.
That's good.
You don't sit there long with it. So if you're going to make something short and sweet. The story, the beginning, middle, and the end.
That's TikTok. That's Reels. That's TikTok and Reels.
Yeah.
You get
that's
15
true.
seconds.
That's good. That's true.
Yeah.
That's good.
You got 15 seconds. And that's what
Right.
I'm saying. Like they've trained people. You have 15 seconds to make an impression.
Mhm.
So
You do. Yeah.
you have 15 seconds.
Yeah, it's your elevator speech now. How are you going to sell me on whatever it is in 30 seconds or less? I used to work in sales, and that was it. Once I get you on the phone, my job is to figure out how I'm going to sell whatever it is to you and make you feel like you need it in less than a minute.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Before we continue, we want to also encourage you guys that are watching. If you have questions, go ahead and type them into the comments, and we'll try to get those answered in the short time that we have left. So let me ask you guys this question, and Carl might get a laugh out of this. What's next for you?
That's funny. That's funny.
What's next for you guys?
That's funny. Go ahead, Norm.
Okay, what's next? For me, I think it really comes down to there's a couple of thoughts I'm having. Sorry, when thoughts run to my head, I go silent. So, okay, now I'm back. Okay. I think that from a business perspective, really deepening just trusting myself and trusting the process and doing that, because I've helped so many people hone their message, hone their thoughts, and help them focus it so that it starts to cut through. I mean, when you produce a television show, you think about the things that resonate with people. Or if you produce something like a church service, let's use the ministry concept, where we would sit in front of, we would sit in a room for hours. We'd have praise and worship, we'd have testimonies, we'd have all of the different types of things. Hours. And so now in a virtual context, we spend way less time because we know that we lose people over time. And so now we've had to adopt our services to this new form of, consumption. So we need to get those things in, flash information up on the screen, and get out. And a lot of times we don't want to sit in this like uncomfortable space. We got a green screen behind us, got a light blaring at us. We got all stuff. So it motivates us to be brief, because you really don't want to be, in this uncomfortable position. Nice. And then I would say, in terms of really improving, or I don't want to say improving, but increasing the amount of content that I help people produce. I really have been, and this obviously comes from being brought up in ministry. A lot of the work that I've been doing has been in the cause-based space, has been in the faith-based space. So if people are doing work that promotes well-being and goodwill in the earth, that's the types of things I really want to be attached to. And a lot of times those efforts don't have a lot of dollars attached to them. But we're moving into a new space. So we're speaking abundance to everyone. That those efforts will actually be in a position to actually pay at some, it doesn't have to be Hollywood level, but at the end of the day, something that's sustainable.
Mhm.
So those are my focuses, and really helping move that piece forward, especially for people of color.
But we will not turn away the Hollywood dollars. Just saying.
No, not at all.
Correct.
Send them, please.
That's good. That's really good. So for me, I mean, continuing to do the video and photography stuff that I'm doing, but literally like right now, what we're developing, we're not developing it. What we're working on now is interactive video, so that building on like the photography is going, it's going decently, it's great, going good. There's still a little more developing than that, but keeping to my main thing that I'm doing, obviously, with the video content and building up client content for their brands, the stop the scroll thing, masterclass thing, or whatever. But we're working on now having a video. Like, for example, we're looking at this video now. We got, Spanky, Sam, Carl, and Norman. And if we just did a general introduction, well, within the video that you were watching, if you wanted to see more about who Sam is or a bio of Sam, you would literally click on the box right there, and it would take you to another video about Sam.
That's dope.
So same thing with Norma and what have you. So we're working on these things now. So like I'm actually developing it with the Stop the Scroll program. So the first video starts off, hey, how you doing? I'm Carl Ingram, whatever. What are you here for? You want to do this? You want to do that? And the icon, those words and icons will pop up on the screen. And literally within the video, not a hyperlink down below, within the video, you click on where you want to go to, and it loads up another video, and then it goes to another spot. So that's the main thing that I'm working on right now. Well, my team and I, we're working on right now to really just have these interactive videos. We're developing one for realtors, real estate agents.
Yeah.
Like if someone comes to the website, what kind of house are you looking for? You want this, you want this, you want this. And literally on the video screen, those icons or those whatever pictures we want to will pop up. You click on that if you want to go to see a bungalow, if you want to do commercial property or whatever, it'll pop up on there, and we go from and that's like the main thing we're doing now, just interactive video.
That's great.
Awesome. Our resident Barbara Walters, Ashley Butt, has asked, with everything being virtual nowadays, how did you encourage your seasoned, non-tech savvy audience to view your content without it being overwhelming for them?
Girl, I don't even understand quite what that says.
In layman's terms, how did you get the old people to be able to watch your stuff without?
Oh, okay, that's better. Okay. So, sweetheart, that is a seriously very well. How did you encourage your seasoned / non-tech savvy audience to view your content without it being overwhelming for them? That's good, sweetie. Okay, that's good.
Ashley, you are a wordsmith.
That is. Now, Norman, that's one of your sentences that you would have put together way back in the day. No, so hold on, look at this. So Norman Waddell, let me tell you this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get right to you, Ashley, sweetie. Get right back to you. Norman Waddell, this man would write up some content, send out more emails, print out more documentation that we would have to look over to determine, like, okay, Norman, so let's take all this you just said. Can we make this 10-page statement a 1-page statement so that all of us can understand it? Because we know you understand it, but we don't have a clue what you just said, Norman. I'm telling you, that was Norman all day, but it was cool. That was his way of doing it.
Right. And Carl would just say, so Norman, break it down.
Man, it was something. Okay.
So Norm, you left that mantle to a few people at Liberty.
You did.
There's quite a few people that does that. Yeah, Ashley's one of them.
Thank you for that. We appreciate that, Norman.
So I guess what I did, and I guess it was more of literally by what I was saying earlier about just producing content. So what I had to do is, not very many people. Well, I shouldn't say not many people. If you really know me, I got a fun side, I got a crazy side, I can act silly, doing whatever. But online and virtually, new people didn't know that. Oh, perfect example. Like most people now who see me online and Facebook and Instagram, or especially when they meet me on Instagram, they have no clue I'm doing video because all they see on Instagram is the photography.
Right.
So when they see me post a video, they're like, man, okay, I didn't know you did video, whatever. But what I had to do to get like anybody who wasn't seasoned or non-tech or non-techie or whatever is literally to try to produce some funny stuff as well here and there. You know, not have it all be so serious. You know, most of the corporate work that I do is very boring. It pays the bills, but it's very boring. So I will very easily take on for a lesser cost, something fun. I would do some other events, do some other parties that, you know, didn't make nearly as much. It was like half the price almost, but it was so I could have some fun content, some jazzy, like Norman was saying, some slick content that would be more engaging for people. So for me, it was more of a question of, okay, how am I going to get my information out there? How am I going to keep building up content so people will look at it? For me, it was more about question of having as much of a variety as possible. And like even with TikTok, so I did this thing, TikTok. Did y'all see the I'm from the hood though? Did y'all see that?
Yeah.
All right. So most people don't know that I was born and raised on the West Side. So, you know, they try to, you know, not that they try to, I'm like, don't let the ponytail fool you. I said, you know, this is, you know, I'm from the hood, you know. So when I saw someone else do that on TikTok, I said, nobody would believe or even just be shocked if I did that. So I went, so it was something fun. Oh, perfect. Even before that, the busted challenge.
I was gonna say that's
you know, the busted challenge. So, my two guys that I work with, they were like, Carl, I didn't know what was about to happen. I had no clue. But literally that day, I was like, I need to get a bus. So I went to Walgreens, hoping that they had a little toy bus in there. Now, here's what's funny. That little toy that I used was a taco truck. I peeled off the taco stuff. I snatched off the taco that was on top of it and just made it look like a bus. But literally, it was stuff like that. Oh, now I'm going to give you guys a little pre-thing. This is March 7th, right?
Yeah.
Something major is coming in the month of April. Nobody is going to believe it. It's a joke, but it's not.
Oh, God.
You heard it here on LIN Live first. But and again, so for me, it was like, how can I do some variety of crazy stuff, still have the good stuff in there, but still show another side just to keep engagement going. That's what I did. I hope that answers your question, sweetie. And I know Norman's going to talk too, but I hope that answers your question.
Well, and I think there's two parts to this, Ashley. I think there's how do you get a group of people who aren't normally used to consuming content from these particular vehicles, one, ready to consume it.
That's good.
You know, because think about it. Last March and April, how many people had to learn how to use Zoom? How many people had to learn how to use StreamYard? How many people had to, you know, these are things that I was using at work. You know, Zoom was something we did all the time. And so then all of a sudden Zoom became a household name. And so I think for a content creator, if you have content that you need people to see, try to make it as accessible as possible.
That's good.
So, you know, making sure that you deliver it to maybe a .com, because, you know, most people know how to go to a web page. So, and they may not be on social media. You know, I knew for sure that the world had turned 180 degrees when I got a Facebook friend request from Mother Price. I was like, whoa! Yes! Woo! Yeah. So, you know, that was a great thing, but it became more of a functional need because I need to be able to watch the service because I won't be connected otherwise. Right. So I think, and I think did Liberty do this? But I thought I saw somewhere where somebody did an instructional video on helping, you know, people, you know, actually learn the technology that they have.
Yeah, Liberty did that. Bishop Vicky Turner.
Come on, I love it. Yeah. So I think that that's the beauty of this time, is that it created a new learning opportunity where certain parts of our audience would have been more resistant to it in the past. It's just like, oh, I don't need to go online because I have the benefit of having it in person. But this pandemic sort of created a way for us to do that. So I would just say, you know, I've worked with people who, you know, they were like, I've never done this before. And so, you know, we've had to exhibit a lot of patience to help that process along. But if at all possible, simplify the tools as much as possible. For those of us that work in tech, I work in tech, so it's easy for me to rattle off, O's and I's and dots and code and stuff like that. But I have to remember that most people aren't exposed to that. So any content creator needs to just be sensitive to that.
That's good.
That's really good.
It is.
Man, if there is no other questions, I think we've reached our time limit. I know you guys are busy and we don't want to hold you guys longer than I don't want y'all yelling at me.
It's gonna be like the typical old school Liberty service. I'm going 3 hours tonight. That was going 3 hours.
I mean, if y'all down for it, we've done it before. We've had 3-hour shows before.
It's nothing. It's nothing.
But we know like you guys have other stuff to get to, and and then I got to pack for my vacation tomorrow. I'm getting out of here.
Has a pack for vacation.
Where you going?
I'm going to Florida tomorrow.
Oh, that's what's up.
Nice.
I'm not going to say which part because there may be a Liberty there, and I don't want them to know that I'm there.
They're too late.
Right, they know that Spanky ain't coming to see y'all. He there on vacation. Don't call him. Don't text him.
He's quarantining and it's virtual. He gonna see you virtual.
It's a leave Spanky alone.
That's the truth.
So I have a question for you, Spanky.
Yes, sir.
So was the intention of this show that you put together today carried out?
Yes.
Have we answered all of your questions?
All of my questions that I wrote down. Actually, so this is how different this show was for me. So, like I said, you guys have been nothing but great mentors to me. So I wrote down questions that I've wanted to know. A lot of my questions was very selfish. I was not thinking about anybody else. And I think everybody just got to benefit from my own selfish reasoning. So, yes.
You're welcome, world.
That's funny.
Well, I'm glad. And Carl, it's great to reunite.
Yeah, it's very good to see you. Very good.
All right. Salt and pepper unite.
Yeah. Before you all leave, I want to make sure that everybody that's watching this now and forever know where they can reach you all at to get some more information, to get some help with creating dope content.
To patronize your businesses.
Yes. Pay. You have to pay. Pay. Pay them.
Ain't no free.
Well, yes. I do have I have a free I give out a free consult. The first consultation I give out for any branding, and it is always free. You can go to my website is themediamd.com. And you'll see an intake link on there, and you just put in your information, and we schedule a free call and determine what you need for your brand or your content, and we go from there.
We'll put all of these in the comments so you can go back and look at it. So can you say that website one more time, Carl?
themediamd.com.
Now, Norman, can you say that in the $1 million voice?
Yes. Go to themediamd.com.
That's gold, baby.
So there's a rapper named Lil Durk, and everybody calls him The Voice. But I was telling my brother the other day, I was like, no, he's not The Voice. If you grew up in Liberty, Norman Waddell, that's the voice.
That is The Voice.
The Voice. Oh my God.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Hey, look, I remember Norman used to it was just like youth or anything over in the light club or anything over there, and it was always, this is DJ Norman Lee. Hey. And it was always so good. I was like, that boy is smooth as butter.
But I don't know where it came from. I really don't. It's not something that is in my family or anything like that. It was Apostle Turner who recognized it. I was actually behind the door making fun of Charlitha Collins while she was recording a voiceover. And she was Liberty Temple Full Gospel Church and World Outreach Ministries. And I was back there, Liberty Temple Full Gospel Church and World Outreach. I was mocking her, and Apostle heard me and was like, get that boy a script. Get Waddell a script. And
so you really had that voice that deep for that long?
Yeah, I had
That is amazing.
Listen to the 1990 men's conference we had. I did the commercial for that.
Oh wow!
And that was before the voice change, but I had a resonant voice then.
That's what's up. That's cool.
Crazy. puberty has blessed you very, very well.
That's funny.
I'm grateful. Well, you can catch me on all social media at I am Norman Lee. And my website is normanleevoice.com. So you can reach out to me via social media or my website. And I'd be happy to talk to you.
And we'll put these in the comments so they'll be there forever and ever and ever. So you can go back to the show.
Where's it again, Norman?
normanleevoice.com.
Yes. This is awesome. Thank you guys so much for being on the show.
Thank you all.
We're gonna take you off for a second, but please don't leave. We want to talk to you guys after this in the backstage area.
Oh boy.
The green room, right?
The green room. Is that the soundboard that you had to use for Dreamgirls, or?
Yes.
Oh, Norman, where did you get that? Well, I already looked at it on Amazon, but that little starburst light thing you got, because what's his name? Jaquay had commented on your thing, and I went ahead and looked it up on Amazon. That thing is super cool.
Yeah, I love it. It
That
really
is
will light up the entire neighborhood.
That is super cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
See, and okay. One last question. So what would you say is your go-to starter pack for any content creator right now, other than the cell phone?
Well, why did you take my answer away from me?
Because I saw that's where you were going, and I was like, no, it's too easy.
Well, it depends. It depends on the type of content. If you're doing something like a podcast, and you might have just a nice setting, you might have a nice bookshelf behind you, and you might bring people on like StreamYard and do that type of thing. What I would say is everybody should have a ring light. So when you turn your glasses up, everybody can see this nice sparkly thing going. No, that was my vain response. No, but everybody should have a really good ring light. And I mean, if it requires a USB to plug in, you don't have the right type of ring light.
Hey, tell them again.
If you have to plug it in with a USB, it's not a good ring light. You need one that plugs into a wall with 3 prongs.
That is true.
Yes.
Oh, well, hold on. Mine has only 2. I'm sorry. Norman, Mr. Dream Girls over here got a 3-prong.
That's how you know you arrived when you got 3 prongs instead of 2.
3 prongs.
Oh, that's
You just want it grounded. You just want it grounded. I don't want to burn the ground.
Gotta be grounded.
Yeah, I get a really good ring light, a good microphone.
Yes.
And your computer. Those are the 3 things you need. And then you can use software like StreamYard.com, B.Live. There are various streaming things if you want to do more of the video. If you have Clubhouse, these people were on their cell phones doing that production of Dreamgirls, hooked up to some other equipment, of course. But, start out with the basics and then build from there. And Carl probably has some additional.
No, actually, that was really it. So often, the ring. So lighting is everything. What was interesting is I knew a lot, in video. When I started photography, my lighting knowledge completely just went through the roof. I learned so much more when I had to play with lighting for photography. So spot on 100%. Got to get a decent ring light. A decent microphone like this mic. So like this microphone I got from I think Target, like $40. Yeah. 40, definitely no more than 60. It was like what, 40, $50 from Amazon. I mean from Target. Like I said earlier, the webcam that I'm talking, it was like 40 or $50 from Dell on Dell's outlet or something like that. A ring light, you can get one for $50 or so, or something like that. And then based upon, look, Norman getting fancy now. But you know what? Well, hold on. Here's what's interesting. So the reason he's able to look to be as clean as he is because of even lighting, decent lighting. So like now, right now, however crazy it is, I got a very big monitor in front of me. So what's crazy is I have to turn down the intensity of this, or I am going to be too bright.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So again, that's what lighting is for. So I dial it down so I'm not overexposed. So outside of that, so you got the camera, you got the microphone, and the ring, like Lighty said. So outside of if you're not going to have your phone, getting any kind of computer. Now, one thing I have not been happy with is Apple has done a very, Apple can do no wrong in my eyes, but
Correct.
I have been very disappointed in their webcams for the past, who knows, however many years.
Yeah,
I've been very, very I'm like, come on, you all. How can you not? I mean, now, but then on the flip side of it, and reality of it is, they're not in the video. They put all their video into these phones, and why they can't do that to the laptop, I am so mad. But anyway, even if you go to just Best Buy and get a $400 camera, $300 camera, whatever. If you're not able to do the webcam, or you don't have a decent computer, or you need to be more mobile, my personal opinion is this: if you have a 9-to-5 and you're saving up money because you want to build up your job or to do digital content creation, whatever you want to call it, if you cannot afford $1,000, then you don't need to go into that. That's just my personal opinion. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm not trying to talk about anybody, whatever. If you cannot invest $1,000 into yourself for everything just to get started, you have to really question and determine whether it's even worth it, for you to do this. I was talking to a client literally was Friday. I was talking to a client on Friday, and we were going over her budget, or talking about her budget and what it was potentially be for the year. And when we determined that it was going to be like maybe $20,000. Now, $20,000 a year is a lot of money, but her price point and what she's scaling to was over $100,000. So if you're going to be making over $100,000 for the year, $20,000 to get you to that is not a lot of money to spend. Now, you have to consider all of the other expenses that you're doing, obviously. But if you can rationalize a $20,000 expenditure to make you $100,000, so that you profit out at about 80 grand, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Especially once you continue to scale. So like with people, any starter kit, anyone who always asks me, I want to get started in video camera or photography. What do I start at? My first question always to them: you have over 500? You have under $500? So if you have under $500, there's nothing for us to talk about, really. Keep your cell phone and go from there. And that's just the hard and facts reality of it. I've never been one to pussyfoot or play around with, whatever it is. Like, hey, the truth of the matter is this is the reality of it. I'm not going to tiptoe, around whatever it is. If you really want to get serious about a content creation, you want to get serious about your business, you've got to invest in it. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, so good.
Yeah. So when you start out, I mean, like, I was doing voiceover on this little thing that plugs into the bottom of my iPhone.
Oh, wow.
Is that the MV8?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's Samsung. Yep. And so it's great because you pop it in the back of your cell phone, and then you're able to record whatever you need to record. And some of this stuff went on television.
Oh, wow.
And I realized that, okay, Norman, you can't be running in closet. Okay, we need to grow up. So I made the investment, and now I have the right equipment to do voiceover and not use my phone. But you graduate to those types of things. So what I always tell people is, don't be intimidated that you have to use something that's not necessarily the big stuff.
Right.
Find ways to get the right look for as little as possible. Some people spend a lot of money on green screens. One thing I've seen people do, they'll buy the green screen fabric and tack it to the wall and steam it.
There you go.
And it cost them $11. So there are ways to get what you need to get done and still look great. But then the next thing is, after all of those things are set up, have you written down, and focused what you're going to present? Is it going to be engaging? Is it going to be funny? So it's layers to it. There's the look and feel, but then there's also the content itself.
We did have one question.
I did see that
from your mama.
Your mama. I'm sorry. Amina. Please don't yell at me. Can you put it back up there? Thank you. Well, what about good speaker or headphones?
Well, and I know she asked that question because I harp on headphones all the time. She's heard me, with my guest on different shows, because oftentimes you get feedback if you don't wear headphones. And so in the world of internet, you can't control certain things. So
Yeah.
the first thing that gets attacked when an internet signal goes down is the audio. And that's
Facts.
why you have the situations like Teddy Riley and a number of other people who fall hard on but yes, headphones and speakers are a great idea. If your computer audio isn't sometimes computers, you turn them up and they can't really amplify as loud as you need them. Having a good external speaker is a good idea. But then having headphones helps you keep control of, and when I say headphones, I mean plug-in ones, not Bluetooth ones, because that also is a signal.
Mhm.
And so, so you need to be wired. That helps, improve your sound significantly. So thanks, Mother.
Yeah, and I always like, I tell people, like, if you're looking to keep a professional look, a good set of in-ear monitors will make that cord go away. It kind of gives you a more professional, cleaner look, and they only cost like $50 for a starter set. So way to go with those.
You know what? Hey, so I do. John, I see your question. Give me 1 second. You know what I've always had a question for, and I was gonna post this. Why is it that musicians, singers, whatever, they've got these in-ears, right? And they're singing or doing whatever, but 99.9% of they pull them out immediately. I'm like, what's the whole point of having the in-ear? You're doing all this checking, you're doing all this, but you snatch them out every the second you start to sing.
So the one
What
thing
is
with
that?
that is either they don't have any ambient sound coming into their ears, so they can't get real response feedback from their audience. Because when you put these in, it closes off the world.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't hear anything outside. So if you're hearing audience, like you're looking at an audience, if you don't have any ambient mics to capture it, all you're seeing is this. And
Okay.
you can't tell if they're booing or they're cheering you. So
Interesting.
yeah. So it kind of gives you instant feedback unless you have that built in. So I know like for as drummers, we've had microphones built into our rigs that sits behind the drum so we can hear ambient sound. Because it also like doesn't mess with your equilibrium as much. That's what people often do because they put this in and it closes off the world. And now like they're so like this grunt, like, not, what's the word? They're kind of like they lose their equilibriums. Yeah,
I got you. No, I got you. Okay,
Yeah.
I've always been curious. I'm like, the second they start singing, like they just snatching it out. All right, so John, what's going on, John Walker? Good, nice to hear from you. So, photography, where do you begin? Honestly, again, it depends on what direction you want to go in. I have several friends who are doing all this iPhone photography and absolutely amazing stuff. One guy's name is Deshaun. He does a lot of stuff where he just literally just shoots with his phone to do whatever. But like real photography, it's like I was saying a little earlier. It's more of a question of, under 500, over $500. Photography is a lot easier to get started with because you literally kind of just only need the camera. Oftentimes the kit lenses are decent for starters. If you want to do outdoor photography, that's the easiest way to get started because the sunlight is your natural light. And the sun is actually the best light, period, ever. I mean, like ever. It's the best light. Natural light is always the best to use. So if you're going to get started that way, or if that's what you're thinking about, definitely just literally not any camera, but almost any camera will typically work. Nowadays, it's really just a question of preference. There's Canon, there's Sony, there's Nikon as the basic ones. So price point is literally all that you kind of consider because they almost are all going to work the same and almost are always going to have the same functionality and the quality, again, based upon what you're doing. So the level of price that you're going to pay is for the equipment the material that goes into it. So it's similar to like when iPhones came out with the cheaper, like the kids version of the iPhone, it was made of plastic and it was just a cheaper material. So a lot of the Canon cameras, because I use Canon, so I know a little bit more about that. The sensors are all the same inside, but the material that it's made of is a less durable plastic, or I mean, it's a more durable plastic and not actual metal. Like, so my camera is weather sealed. So like if I just splash a bunch of water on it, that won't be a problem. Or if I go out in extreme cold, there won't be a problem. Whereas a lesser camera, you wouldn't be able to do that, so to speak. So literally just going to Best Buy or even Amazon, just getting any basic Canon Rebel, the T series or whatever. I know I'm sure they're still around. Some really, really decent cameras just to get started with and just to play around with and have some fun with. And that's really it. And then the main thing I tell people about photography, if you can get whether you rent it, if you have something special that you want to do, or to save up the money to buy some decent glass, a decent lens, 9 times out of 10, almost any camera will do great, because the lens and the quality of coming in that light and that glass, that's really it.
That is so true. Like, I was just kind of preaching that to some leadership about that, that the glass is super important, and that's why it costs so much.
Yeah.
You got to explain the dollars and the cents.
You're welcome, John. No problem, man.
Thank you, John, for your question.
Nice.
The return on investment, like, and to go back to what Carl said, like, that's what I like. With my story with like how I got into like my company, like I took my stimulus check at $1,200 and invested in some equipment, and like just from that equipment, like people were like, "Man, I like what you're doing. Can you do it for me?" And it's just and that return on investment like has turned over numerous of times. So
that's what's up.
Don't be afraid to invest.
Spend money. True. You have to spend money at some point in time.
Yeah, and get creative with it. I mean, there are a number of different options. Like Guitar Center has progressive leasing, where you can get 90 days interest financing without hitting your credit. Don't go beyond 90 days because that interest rate is high.
Yeah.
Don't. But if you can swing, the investment by, getting into a payment plan. A lot of these, companies like Affirm and Bread and different companies that allow you to make monthly payments interest free. Don't be afraid to utilize those options to get you into the space where you're actually doing things, so you can play with the equipment, so then you can develop what you need to. And then, go at it hard. People are looking to sponsor good content.
That's true.
And I think that you would be denying yourself just to have the experience by saying, well, let me wait, do something towards it. I mean, whether it's saving the money or putting it on layaway, doing buying one piece and paying that off, buying another piece and paying it off. You'd be surprised that, as you make those little incremental steps, you can get what you need to get. Because, when we were out in the normal world pre-COVID, like this Rodecaster, that's a $600 investment. But the thing is, I would have to honestly look back at my life and say, oh God, I ate out like, several times a week, and I blew $600 in 2 weeks. So, it really comes down to what is it that you really want to do, and making that happen.
And I like how you put that, because if you look at it, our cell phones are $1,000 piece of equipment.
Yeah.
So if you can't, like, if you're investing in a cell phone versus something like what your passion is, like, you might as well just hang it up.
Or, the fact that you have invested in your cell phone, use it till its fullest capabilities.
Yep.
Yeah. Oftentimes we get these pretty phones because, Apple did a great marketing job. But then after that, we don't really use the phone to its full extent. When I turn this joker in, it's breathing hard. The memory is almost gone. They're like, okay, yeah, you do need a new phone, because I use it. And I don't leave any stone unturned on it. So, yeah, I would just suggest, find out, do some research, look at the types of apps that do different things. There's apps like InShot that has video editing. So you could take videos on your phone.
Oh, yeah, InShot's good.
Yeah, learn how to edit little video and then upgrade the app. Just spend the $30 and upgrade the app. Don't be cheap. Okay. But, really just play with it, and you'll find that it's really intuitive. So you'll find that they put this app together to make it simple for you, where we had to go in years of training and figure this stuff out. So, and you're right, Claudette, there's nothing wrong with Android either. They do have some apps on Android. Yes.
Android sucks.
I was
This
trying to, not start that debate, but
this episode is sponsored by Apple. No, that's not.
But you know what? No, I will say this. Android. What I do like about Android is the full like open source functionality. I really do like that, because I do remember when I had an Android. And speaking of S3, I had an S3. And here's what's crazy. It's still at the studio, at the photo studio, because I used to use it for playing Pandora. That S3 was the first stereo we had in the studio. It was the very first one. So that's what I played Pandora on. So anyway, I'm gonna take a picture of it when I get to studio. Might be there tomorrow. Whatever. I'm gonna take a picture of it. Wait. But anyway, I really did enjoy that open functionality that you could do so many different things with on the Android. I 100% I missed that side of it. But when I just the functionality and what I was able to merge and sync with because all I have is Apple. I mean, I've got the computer here and I got a computer there and I got my laptop, to be able to sync everything. So, yeah, I shouldn't say Samsung. Android sucks, but it's just whatever.
No, and that's one thing that I feel like a lot of content creators will run into, is finding that the Apple ecosystem is so conducive to the creative process that, like, being able to take something from your cell phone and instantly airdrop it to your computer for editing and stuff like that.
Mhm.
It has made, because Carl, like when I started with you, I had an Android and I had a PC. I was, and you heard my PC over there struggling trying to load these videos for convocation. It's like,
that's right. That's right.
So I got a MacBook and I was like, I have both of my computers going during convocation, uploading videos, and my MacBook is over there like done, and my PC is over there like,
That's the truth.
And Carl was the pioneer. I mean, I wasn't sold on Mac. We had many fights on that one. And one day I submitted and I was like, oh my God, why did I wait so long? And Carl was like,
you know what? And John, I do see that comment. I definitely want to talk about it. But let me tell you what Norman was the absolute best at. Norman was and I don't mean this, I used to mean this in a negative way, but it's not negative anymore. Norman was the best at making his idea your idea and making you think you thought of the idea.
Yes.
Norman was so good at that.
Yes.
So he would break down something and he was like, so what I'm thinking is this or whatever. And as you're talking, like, yeah, that'd be good. And we're doing this and we're doing that. And I'm like, it was Norman's idea all along. He just put it in there and made you think it was yours. It was good. He was good at that. It was great.
Yeah.
But that was one thing I really did. I mean, I loved Liberty Media. I still do. I mean, there's no, I can't get out of it, get away from it.
Nope.
We had such an amazing time, amazing team, amazing people, just all bringing everything together. All these different, amazing. Because here's the other reality. For Norman to have to deal with all the personalities, all the temperaments, all the skill sets, all those different things, and still deal with his job and still do whatever was actually, kudos seriously to you, Norman. I mean, to have to deal with all of that and still function and not bring a Mac 10 or bring a machine gun to the church and kill everybody. That was for real. No, that was real. Seriously. That's the truth.
Oh my God. Yeah, but I just remember when we were, really down to trying to pick out what it was that we wanted. And so, and I know Dwight's in the background somewhere. Where's Dwight? But he was heavily PC focused. And so
Still.
Well, I wasn't going to bring up now. I was no, but and what I realized in that, like he said, there were so many creative inputs. We just didn't know at the time, and we didn't have the maturity level to understand where things were going. See, Carl was looking into the future. He's like, we could do this, we could do that, we could do. And I'm looking like, I'm just trying to manage today. Can we get and Carl was in the future, and I'm like, I can't go with you yet. And then when I finally got a chance to breathe, I was like, where has this been all about? And Carl was like, I told you. I've been telling you. So, but yeah.
So
Yeah.
hold on. So John, you are saying that your son,
20.
what is his TikTok? He's got 23,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah, no.
So John, I'm about to tell you right now, boy, don't get into photography. Help your son, Negro. If you don't develop them 23,000 followers. I mean, hold on. I really need you to type it in so I can look up. I hope he's still watching. I really need you to type that in so I can see what he is doing. Because here's the reality. You're saying, well, some advice I can give him. I ain't got but 9 followers on TikTok. I don't know what I'm gonna help him do.
I need some advice. We struggling.
Low key, a lot of our youth in Liberty Temple have like thousands of followers doing
great. So what are they doing?
Just doing whatever they do. So it's like
exactly.
Just dancing, singing.
Who asked the question earlier? It was Ashley, right? It was Ashley.
Yeah,
it was Ashley.
Yeah. Ashley asking the question again. Just doing content. Do we know what John's son's name is?
John Walker.
Either John or Joe.
John Walker.
You know what? You know how many John Walkers are about to come up when I type that in on TikTok? But
he probably got an alias. He probably got an alias on there.
But I mean, but that's just thinking that, and then based upon what you're just saying, Spanky, about all these other, these young people having all these followers because all they're doing is they're just producing content. Mm-hmm. Just continue. I mean, because there's no. I mean, I'm inclined to say that if he's got 23,000 followers, he's got to be producing something on a regular basis, or just those few things. Okay, here it is. Starring John, activism to comedy.
Wow. He ain't never made me laugh. No, I'm joking.
That's so funny.
I saw him yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I got like one TikTok video which got like 700 likes, which I was happy about, but I only got 15 followers. I mean, but I have to do more.
Yeah,
but I don't know what to do. I mean, I'm like,
but that's the hairball. John,
I'm gonna hit up John.
Okay, so look at this.
John David.
He's got 23.3 thousand followers with 1.2 million likes. But check this out. You know how many videos he's got? He's got 1,269 videos.
Yeah,
there you go.
So he is continually building up content.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Ashley, I'm assuming she's still, and if not, you guys can let her know. He's got 1,000. Okay, so here's the reality. How long is Norman? How long has TikTok been around, or like as famous as it is now?
Like 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, I think less than 3 years.
Yeah, like 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so if he's doing a little quick, I'm about to say Alexa, but or Siri, but I'm just pulling my own calculator. I'm telling you, Alexa and Siri make me lazy, bro. They make me lazy. Okay, so we're gonna say let's say 2 years, right? Okay, so 365 times 2 is 730 days. So TikTok's been around for 730 days. So if he's got 1,269 videos, he's doing more than one video every single day.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Every single day without question.
Yeah.
That's your answer right there. He is continually doing content no matter what it is, whether it's stupid, whether it's good, whatever. That's okay. I'm about to start doing videos every single day.
And honestly, that's the algorithm. That's the algorithm for Facebook. That's the algorithm for Instagram, and that's the algorithm for YouTube. At least 2 videos a day, averaging a minute or so. Is literally.
I am John. Tell him. Okay, look, now John just only been at it for a year. So all this Negro is doing is posting TikTok videos.
So basically 3 videos a day. Yeah.
So then you know what? Now, John, so here's the question. Is he leveraging this? Oh no, okay. So has he made any money from it? I see he has his PayPal number up, PayPal account up here. Has he made any money off of this? And if he hasn't, it's been a year. So if you're thinking about it, is taking these now followers and determining what your project is, what your concept is, what you can sell, how you can monetize it, whatever. Because not that it's only about money, but we need money to live. That's the reality, right? One of the things, so my dad lived in Texas, in Austin, Texas. And one year, Yolanda and I went down there, and it was snowing. And when I tell you everybody was freaking out, they were going crazy. Thought this whole city was about to shut down because they weren't used to snow. I told my dad, I said, Dad, if you ever want to create a product, you ever want to get famous, I said, we're going to sell snow shovels on the side of the road in Austin, Texas. I said, Dad, within 1 week, everybody in Austin, Texas would know who we are. Everybody will open up a storefront and sell shovels. They'll be like, who is this idiot selling shovels in Austin, Texas? I said, after 1 week, when everybody knows who we are, then we unlaunch what we're really selling. We launch what the real product is, whatever it is. But by then, everybody will have known who you are. So if so he's just said he's beginning to make some money. That's right. If he's got 23,000 followers, being able to monetize that, do whatever, man, that's just some crazy stuff. I'm for real, guy. I'm about to start making TikTok videos every day.
Yeah, that's why if you look at it, a lot of the content on Instagram and Facebook are TikTok videos because I think there's some language in TikTok that doesn't allow them to make money directly from TikTok. Like if you were monetized on YouTube.
Oh, really?
But,
okay.
Yeah, but you can leverage those videos onto YouTube because it's more content that you're creating, and those likes are going to transfer over. So once you get the likes and everything over to YouTube, now you can monetize and get that YouTube check. And you know, if he was able to take those followers and get them over to YouTube, he'll have a YouTube plaque in no time.
Hey, do that, John. Tell him to do that, John, and tell him I am very impressed with that. That is some excellent stuff.
Yeah. Get them YouTube checks.
That's what's up.
Money.
And remember who told you about it.
You heard it here first.
As a possible fix, in the time.
You love.
Right. Man, so we went into overtime, guys. Thank you so much for hanging with us. Absolutely. Like I love you. I love you both.
Love you too. Love everybody. I don't know you well, Sam, but I love you.
I love everybody with the love of the Lord. Now let's grab your neighbor's hand and sing.
Lift your neighbor's hand. But Carl, Sam has been super helpful to me in media as of late. Like,
really? That's cool.
Yeah, he's been my right hand man. Him and his brother Jerry. So I appreciate them both.
Hold on, Sam. The bow ties, right?
Yeah, bow tie Sam.
That's right. You got some good bow tie. I remember that. He had some nice bow ties.
Yeah, I don't wear them anymore though. It's too predictable,
Negro.
Okay. Oh my God. They're expecting it now. You got to change it up when they come to expect it. You got to change it up.
Funny. That's right.
But we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Carl, Norman, thank you guys so much. So
thank you all.
Please hang backstage for just a second, and we're going to wrap this thing. We're going to wrap this thing on up. Ladies and gentlemen, Norman Waddell, Carl Ankrum. Yes, audience. So I saw somebody comment. I think it was Mama Butt that said we should leave that video. We shouldn't play the video. But Sam, guess what?
We're gonna play the video. We're gonna play. Why
I'm
not?
about to it won't let me play it. No. But it was, and I was gonna have to mute the audio anyway because I'm pretty sure that was a copywritten song. But it'll be on Instagram tonight.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna put it up right after the show.
You're welcome.
So if you're not following us, follow us on LIN Official on Instagram and catch some of the content that we're throwing out. Also, we got merch. Ooh, baby, we got merch. So go buy it. I haven't done that in a while. I got to warm up. So go purchase your merch. Go follow us on Instagram. Also, subscribe and hit the notification bells on YouTube also.
Yeah. Do all that fun and that stuff. Subscribe, comment, notification bell. What else they do on the internet? Buy merch. Merch is short for merchandise, ladies and gentlemen. If it's your first time on LIN Live
or being online, period. Also, follow Sam's OnlyFans. I'm joking.
I don't think my wife is watching this show anymore, but don't. Please don't.
No,
I have an OnlyFans. Only Deacons though. Check
Only
out-
Deacons. Follow us on Only Deacons. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching us tonight. We appreciate you. We'll see you all next week. We'll be talking about church hopping.
Church
And we'll
hopping.
have-
I got a membership at the Potter's House, First Baptist Mediterranean Church of Roanoke, Virginia, and a couple other places. So yeah, check us out.
Yeah, I've joined all the ANWAs across the I'm a member of every single ANWA, even the ones that ain't even around anymore. I went to Legacy ANWA. No, I'm joking. No, we're so happy that you guys joined us tonight. So remember, purchase your merch. Tune in next week for our show. Follow us on Instagram. We love you, and we'll see you all next week.
It's LIN Live with Spank and Sam. It's a show for everyone, boy, woman, girl, and man. So tune in on Facebook and YouTube. Guaranteed to make you laugh and make you feel good. Yeah, it's the LIN